kicks. They bring a very, very good team in here to South Carolina.
Furman has won the toss. They elected to defer, so South Carolina will receive the opening kickoff. We welcome in the third member of our crew, and really the headlines this week. The offensive play for South Carolina, giving up 9 sacks. For more on that, we welcome in Dawn Davenport.
Yeah, frustrated and borderline embarrassed is how offensive lineman Nick Gargiulo described how this line felt after last week. He said they went back at practice, focused on execution, technique, and fundamentals. He also pointed out how great Spencer Rattler has been, guys, for them this week. Positive, never placed blame on that group, never panicked, and he told them he believes in them. They feel that they have the confidence to get it right tonight, and it starts now, John.
Well, we start here with a flag on the opening snap.
Illegal snap. Offense, number 53. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's our referee, Kyle Olson. The replay official tonight is Terry Walters.
And as Don talked about, this offensive line and getting that thing fixed is the utmost priority, not starting the game off the way they want it here.
To carry on Joyner in the backfield, they fake the handoff to him, and a keeper from Rattler, as he tries to get back to the original line of scrimmage, picks up 4. Head coach for South Carolina in his 3rd season, Shane Beamer. And Rocky, he told us, he said, this is a scary game. We know what Furman brings to the table.
Yeah, they're not taking this thing lightly at all, especially coming off of last week. So many things they got to fix and get better themselves.
Rattler looking to set up the screen. Will find that's Leggett. And Leggett is tripped up as he crosses the 30 to the 31. That was Cam Brinson on the tackle.
And come off that play last week. The offensive line, just a lot of things of confusion. This is a very young, very inexperienced, and an injured offensive line. They got to find a way to gel that unit here tonight.
So on the opening drive of the game, a 3rd and 4 for Spencer Rattler. Rattler's looking to throw to the left side, completes. He's got Leggett again. He's been a dependable receiver right at that marker, and that's going to be a first down. Travis Blackshear there with the stop.
And number 17 picking up where he left off last week. A career day. Offensive line protection looked great. Furman brought a little pressure. Offensive line blocked it up well. Get the ball to your receiver, first down.
Juju McDowell now in the backfield. He will get the rock. Finds a hole up the middle. And there's the offensive line play that Dawn was talking about. They took it personally, giving up 9 sacks last week.
They did, and John, there's only one way to get better. That's to go out there and do it and play it. That's why they got to get that run game going. These are your offensive linemen. This is who you're going to be with for the season here. You got to get experience, and that's what's important. I try to get that run game going. This is a good start.
On 2nd and 3, they go back to McDowell. And McDowell will pick up 2. Will bring up 3rd and short. You know, it's amazing. I was coming up in the elevator to get to the press box. Everyone in the elevator was talking about the offensive line. All the old school boosters, everyone. That is the biggest story here in Columbia.
Well, it is because, I mean, they have a ton of weapons on offense. If they give Spencer Rattler an NFL-type quarterback some time, he's going to make them pay.
On the ground, this is to carry on Joyner, and Joyner just dragging dudes with him. Inside Furman territory, a gain of 16.
There's a great block by number 69, Nick Gargiulo. You'll see it right there. Getting to that 2nd level, popping the linebacker out, and then a downhill run by DeCarrion Joyner.
They give it back to Joyner, this time over the left side. And Joyner's a fascinating story. At 6'1", 225. Originally, he came in here out of high school as a quarterback. Eventually, he switched over to wide receiver. Now, in his senior year, they asked him to be a running back. Rocky, he's never done that before.
No, but Dow Logan really likes how he's played so far. He's picked up pass protection extraordinarily quick. He's got a running back body style. That's his best position, and I think he can do well.
Movement up front, and we've got a flag before the snap.
False start. Offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
So the offensive line called for 2 false starts on this opening drive. That's Sidney Fugard, the left tackle.
And it was the tackles in particular last week, John. They had a lot of trouble sorting out those looks and that pressure that North Carolina was bringing. They're the ones that got to be better tonight.
Here's the 8th play of the opening drive on 2nd and 11. Rattler looking to left side all the way. And he finds Leggett. Those two have found something early on here in this season.
They have. And look, I mean, go back to last year in the bowl game against Notre Dame. Leggett about tore my Irish up. He had a couple touchdowns, had a 42-yard, jumped out of the stadium, brought the ball down. You saw the athleticism, and he's taking that confidence into the offseason. Coach said he's never missed a play of practice. He's been up there, he's been hyped, and he's looking really good so far.
Here we go, 3rd and 5. There's the toss. Brown trying to get over the edge. He's only able to pick up a couple. Meeting him there on the corner was Micah Robinson with the tackle.
It was a good job by Micah Robinson. They pulled an offensive lineman. That's not a situation a corner likes to be in, but he played it well.
Crowd is rumbling. They want the offense to stay on the field, but it looks like they're going to bring on the kicking unit. And Mitch Jeter. He will come on. This would be a 50-yard field goal. So Jeter trying to get South Carolina on the board first. High snap, kick on the way. Oh, dunked it off the upright. So it's Furman who is fired up after they blanked South Carolina off the opening drive. He had the leg. You have no score between South Carolina and Furman. And Dawn, Furman's quarterback, Tyler Huff, he loves playing in situations like this.
Yeah, he does. They played at Clemson last year, and he said they're more than ready to handle this sold-out crowd. They installed a silent cadence for that game last year. They reinstalled it this week. They struggled early at Clemson with some false starts, but guys, Huff said this time he feels much more comfortable with that cadence.
He was 12 for 12 versus Clemson last year. He can do it.
On 1st and 10, Huff keeps it himself. This is the elusiveness he brings, and this is why Shane Beamer, head coach for South Carolina, was worried.
A quarterback like this scares you. You know, a guy that can run around, he can escape, and he just makes plays. Look, I mean, this thing is defended actually pretty well, but he makes a guy wiggle, makes another guy miss, and picks up a key first down the first play.
14 yards on the scramble, 1st and 10 for Furman. They're looking to pass, a little trickeration. Josh Harris throwing downfield. He's got a man inside the 5. Kendall Dean. And Furman, they came to play a gain of 52.
I love this call in this situation so much. You pick up a great first down play and then pull one out of the trick hat, right? Pull one out of the bag. A little bit underthrown, but this is exactly the start that Furman imagined when they came in here.
Now, this is one of the best teams in the FCS. As we've talked about, they played Clemson close last year. That was actually the 2nd start for Tyler Huff here at Furman because he is the transfer from Presbyterian College, now in his 2nd year as a grad student here at Furman.
Now they're going to pack him in and pound this thing. Oh.
Play action, rolling out to the right, throwing end zone. Dangerous pass. That was almost picked off. Marcellus Dial was there defending, got his hands on it.
It's a very interesting offense that Furman runs. It's like a smash mouth spread combination. They'll spread things out, try to hit the perimeter, jet screens, bubbles, and then they'll pack it in tight and try to smash away. At this, they go for play action off, but that was actually very well covered on the back end. And we got to talk about on the back end for South Carolina. They're missing their best defensive player, their eraser, Nick Imamwori. Went out last week, first play of the game with the hamstring. He's not playing tonight. That spells trouble.
2nd and goal. Keeper, Huff, trying to plunge forward. He is marked down at the 1. It'll be 3rd and goal.
Furman comes in here, good-sized offensive line. You know, they don't look undersized up there. I imagine this is a play where Tyler Huff has a run-pass option. Give him that option to scramble and run this thing in if things break down.
A late substitution for South Carolina. TJ Sanders inserted on that front line to add some more size for South Carolina. 3rd and goal from the 1. Huff keeps it himself. And he didn't get in.
It was a good job by South Carolina. Stout up front. They got some big boys right through the middle like that. And you can tell Tyler Huff, he wants to keep that ball. When in doubt, he's going to keep that thing. He smells the goal line.
Rocky, what do you think about
I love it.
4th and goal?
I love it. You stop him, you hold him, he'll miss field goal. You get the trick play. You're knocking on the door. Go do it.
The ruling on the field of the runner being short of the goal line is under video review.
So it was ruled on the field short of the goal line, and it's now going to be reviewed to see if, in fact, Tyler Huff was down short or maybe he broke the plane. Rocky, you can see early on the play calling from Furman. They're going to put the ball in the hands of Tyler Huff.
Yeah, he's just that kind of guy. And most good quarterbacks, John, when it's crunch time, they want that ball in their hand. It looked like on that angle that his knee didn't hit the ground, but he was shoved back short of the goal line. So if this angle shows it any different. From those two angles, I did not see the ball actually ever break the plane.
Let's say this call stands. Do you think Furman potentially changes their mind and puts the field goal kicking team?
I think they go for it.
Okay.
I would too. Again, as Don talked about before the game, they're playing with house money, right?
The ruling on the field stands.
All right, so the call on the field stands. It'll be 4th and goal from the 1. And here comes the offense led by Tyler Huff.
Justin Roper, the offensive coordinator, he's reaching that bag for that special play that you have in this situation by some sort of misdirection.
Dominic Roberto, the running back. They give him the carry, and he's in there. Touchdown. Furman strikes first. After South Carolina misses from 50 yards out on their opening drive, Furman responds with a touchdown.
I love the decision. I love the call. As we talked about, this is a team that's a little bit of spread, but a little bit of smash mouth. They're going to line that up and run that ball with their 230-pound running back, Dominic Roberto, punches it in, and this crowd is silenced.
Axel Lapro will be on to kick the extra point. And it is up and good. 6 plays, 68 yards in just under 3 minutes as Furman has a 7-0 lead.
That was a great statement made by Furman right there. They didn't do anything tricky when they were knocking on the door. They packed it in tight, gave it to their big running back, and slams it in. 7-0. Here's South Carolina. Furman's up.
And you see the mentality of Furman. They're not afraid. They went for it on 4th down, punched it in from 1 yard out. And Ian Williams is set to kick things away for Furman. Leggett and Juju McDowell are the deep men for South Carolina. Leggett will field it inside the 5. Let's see what he can do. He is a dangerous returner, but he is stopped short of the 30. A return of 25 yards. So Spencer Rattler comes back out on the field. What do you need to see from him on this drive for South Carolina?
I think he just needs to continue to be the calming presence here, right? Just find a way, move those chains, pick up first downs. I think you can still lean on that run game. You know, he's a guy that just has so much experience, played in so many games. He's not, you know, he's been behind before.
Rattler looking to throw. A good catch on the outside. That was picked up by Juice Wells. Now, last week, Wells did not play many snaps. Came out of the game early, and in practice this week, the coaching staff went to him and said, look, we know you're banged up. Just kind of heal up, rest up. He said, no, I want to go hard this week to be ready to play tonight.
We also saw Xavier Leggett with a big day. He said, I want to get back out there.
That's Brown on the outside, still on his feet, cutting it back into the middle and into Furman territory. A good cut and catch after the run, a pickup of 20.
This is the strength of this South Carolina team. It's weapons on the outside. Antoine Wells, Amarian Brown, Xavier Leggett.
There's Joyner, the running back. He's not going out of bounds. You're going to have to throw him out. And all of a sudden, using tempo, South Carolina's got something going.
And I love how they use it there. You know, tempo doesn't work when you use it all the time. You've got to pick your places for it, right?
Spencer Rattler is now over 8,000 career passing yards. On 1st and 10 from the 20. They give this one to Joyner. And Joyner will pick up a couple.
And going back to Rattler, John, last year, late in the season, they simplified the offense a little bit for Rattler. You know, just not so much junk to worry about and just allow him to play. He's a very, very talented guy. Allow a player like that to just have the confidence and go play. And I think that has been the big difference.
See Rattler directing traffic.
The look he didn't like here.
So South Carolina will use their first timeout here in this first half. And when we talked to head coach Shane Beamer about Spencer Rattler, he said, I brought my team together on Sunday after the loss against North Carolina. And he said, it was important for me to send the message that we need to get better, but it's not at the quarterback position. We have got one of the best quarterbacks in the country.
He was glowing in his praise of Rattler, and rightfully so. The guy played fantastic. 30 of 39, 350 yards, and that North Carolina defense is revamped and looking really good. And this kind of turnaround for him goes back to last year. This was the coming out party for Spencer Rattler. Shocking upset of UT at 438 yards and 6 touchdowns. And then the following week against Clemson had another big game, brought him back from behind, 360 yards, 2 touchdowns. And the other thing Shane Beamer talked about is he told Spencer early this season, look, you're the guy. You don't got to be looking over your shoulder and all this. You're the guy. So go out there, have confidence, and just let that thing rip. He tries to be too perfect sometimes. Just go let that thing zing out there. Let your God-given ability take over.
Well, he's perfect to start this game. 7 of 7 for 71 yards. As we see the shift to the left side of the line. Mario Anderson in at running back. He's got the rock over that left side, but he can't break free of the tackle as Cam Brinson comes up and catches him around the ankles. 3rd down.
So going a little more tempo back here, getting back to the line. Spencer Rattler conducting traffic.
3rd and 2. Rattler, the quick pass to the outside. And Joshua Simon, he's the Western Kentucky transfer at tight end. Got himself a 1st down after picking up 9.
Got a couple good tight ends on this roster. Trey Knox, we've talked about, the Arkansas transfer. He's a future NFL guy. Josh Simon. Again, no shortage of guys to get the ball to for Spencer Rattler. They just need the time to get it to him.
So we have a player down for Furman. That's going to be number 43, Braden Gilby.
And going back to that offensive line, their struggles last week. So far tonight, it's been, they're getting that ball out of his hand, right? Not camping back there and waiting for routes to develop 40 yards down the field here. Let's get that offensive line a little confidence, get some quick game going, and put a drive together.
You know, Rocky, we're talking about when Spencer Rattler finally allowed himself to kind of open things up and trust his team. It was the loss against Missouri. It was the 8th game of the season, and Shane Beamer said they called a play where they had it perfectly against the defense, timed to perfection, but Rattler never threw the ball. Yeah. After that game, he said, trust your receivers, give them a chance, and Rattler has just let it loose.
Yeah, and during that week of practice, he was throwing that ball all the time. So and there was the look, they got it, and he didn't pull the trigger because he didn't have confidence in himself. Again, trying to be too perfect out there. That's where Shane Beamer said, let that thing rip, young man.
1st and goal. They give it to Joyner, and Joyner pushes his way into the end zone. South Carolina uses the run game to get on the board behind that offensive line.
Offensive line looked great in that series. Good pass blocking on that play. Open up the hole for Joyner. Ja'Kai Moore, the right guard, with a nice block.
Mitch Jeter for the extra point. And he ties up the ball game at 7 apiece. 7 plays, 72 yards in 2:28 on the clock. It was to carry on Joyner from 3 yards out, just pushing people. We're all tied up at 7 apiece here in Columbia. Fired up after South Carolina's on the board. We are all tied up at 7 apiece with Furman, a visiting team from the FCS, the 50th all-time meeting between Furman and South Carolina. What an atmosphere. This is awesome.
This is great. And the crowd's back into it. And that was important that South Carolina answered right there. You cannot give up an opening touchdown to Furman and then go 3 and out and give them the ball back. That was great.
So Josh Harris, Colton Hinton, the deep men for Furman, as Jeter set to kick off. Rocky, it's just different in the SEC.
It is. It means a lot.
Tyler Huff is a born leader, and he means so much to his teammates, Dawn.
Yeah, he does. He joined Army ROTC while he was at Presbyterian to help pay for school. Since he was a walk-on, he's now a 2nd lieutenant in the Army, guys. Commissioned in May of 2022. He'll serve 6 years in the active reserves. Talked about the leadership that crosses over from Army to football. Now, he does have to give a weekend per month to the Army. Obviously can't do that in season. Had to make up the time that he will miss back in the summer. And he planned to go through January. Of course, that is when the FCS championship takes place.
Hot on the plate for these young men, you know what I mean? Look, he's got to go to school, he's got to practice football, he's a quarterback, so he's got to get all the extra film in, and then on top, the young man, joins the Army Reserves, a 2nd lieutenant.
Also might explain why they went for it on 4th and goal. He probably convinced his coach. You trust him when he says something.
Yeah, when he speaks, you listen.
2nd and 7, South Carolina showing blitz. They run with Dominic Roberto. He's the big back, 5'11", 231. When he hits you, you're going to feel it.
Yeah, he had 1,100 yards last year. Powerful back. Really like watching Dominic Roberto this week. Anxious to see what South Carolina does here. Looks like they're going to line up and bring some pressure.
Crowd on that line of scrimmage. On 3rd and 7, empty backfield, quick throw, the slant, incomplete. Dean thought he had it off his hands, 4th down.
That's a great look there by defensive coordinator Clayton White. And in the closing right there, Marcellus Dial, 3 interceptions last year. They got 2 great corners on this defense. Force a 3 and out.
Can't throw it any better than that.
No.
So the first punt for either team, as Brown will let it bounce and pick it up inside the 20. Avoids the first, but then is tripped up right around the 21. Well, South Carolina's last drive got themselves on the board, and they were looking good.
They were, and the big difference was there was no penalties, right? The offensive line was blocking great, shooting the ball out to the perimeter. Get the ball in the hands of their playmakers. That's their offense. That's what they do. That's where the strength is of their team. Go left with it, go right, dump the ball down to your running back. And then I think we get a confidence booster for this offensive line, pounding that rock in for the touchdown.
All tied at 7 apiece, under 4 minutes to play here in this first quarter. On the ground they go with Juju McDowell. And maybe picks up one. There's Evan DiMaggio on the stop. So the tempo worked on their last drive. They're going to keep it going fast. Quick throw to the outside. This is Brown. Wow. That one maybe gets another Just another yard, so it'll bring up 3rd and 8 as Micah Robinson made the tackle.
What a great play by Robinson. Fought off the block on the perimeter and came up and made a tackle. Long-looking corner, 6 foot, 185 pounds. Good play.
Brown goes in motion on 3rd and 8. Rattler in trouble. Will check it down to Brown. But that one's going to be well short, stopped on the 24.
And it's well covered on the back end. A little bit of pressure forced Rattler out of the pocket and try to dump that thing down. But this defense, as we talked about, an experienced group, an athletic group, rallied the ball and forced a punt.
So the first punt of the day for South Carolina. And a fair catch is called for. They're going to mark that at the 34 by Josh Harris. Here's next Saturday's Week 3 SEC Network College Football lineup. Missouri, they host number 15 Kansas State at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central to start the day. Then we got number 23 Texas A&M. They host Louisiana Monroe at 7 Eastern, 6 Central on SEC Network Plus. And Auburn hosts Samford. Cap the day with number 20 Ole Miss hosting Georgia Tech in our SEC Saturday night matchup. All 4 games also available on the ESPN app, so you can watch it from anywhere. On 1st and 10, Furman starts this drive on the ground with Grant Robinson. And Robinson will pick up 3.
And one thing Coach defensive coordinator Clayton White talked about, he wanted to get more production out of that defensive line. That's a big group up there, some athletic bodies. Didn't really have much of an impact on the game last week against North Carolina. I want to see them get going.
2nd and 7, the throw to the outside. That's caught by the tight end, Mason Klein. And Rocky, defensive coordinator for South Carolina, Clayton White, also said, we are very young on defense. We're not playing with like 19, 20-year-olds. We're talking 18, 19-year-olds on defense right now.
Yeah, and that's the big difference between these two teams. You know, and Furman, on the other hand, is very experienced. Their entire roster, both sides of the ball, juniors and seniors, there's no substitute for experience. If you're South Carolina, the only way to get that experience is go out there and play and find guys that can get the job done.
Huff is getting his guys lined up after completing his first pass of the game. 3rd and 4. Huff, he's going to scramble. He's got plenty of daylight in front of him. And he will stretch and pick up that first down out of bounds. Stone Blanton was chasing him. But there's that elusiveness from Huff. And
they use Stone Blanton as a spy. He was responsible for the quarterback. He's sitting there seeing waiting on, but Huff's got a little speed to him. Just enough to get to the outside and pick up that first down. Great play.
Seconds to play here in this first quarter. Some more trickery. It'll end up in the hands of Wayne Anderson. The second trick play has worked again for Furman, a gain of 12.
Pulling out all the stops, double reverse. But watch who throws a key block on this. Tyler Huff, the quarterback, hits out there and cuts down Jordan Strawn. It was the jet receiver to get a little bit of a gain there.
You're a defensive guy. Will that come up in the film room, the quarterback throwing a block on?
Yeah, it might be talked about a little bit. Can't have that happen.
So that'll do it for the first quarter, all tied up at 7 apiece. When we come back, Dawn will be on the sidelines with head coach for South Carolina, Shane Beamer.
Welcome back. back to Columbia, South Carolina. One quarter now in the books. I'm Dawn Davenport here with head coach Shane Beamer. Coach, offensively, saw a little bit of tempo, but how would you assess what you guys are able to do on that side of the ball?
Doing okay. We had 2 good drives, and then on that last one right there, just kind of shot ourselves in the foot, got beat on the perimeter, and had a run on first down that didn't do much. But, we need to be able to continue to run the ball on them and get the ball on the perimeter and make them tackle our best players in space.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, Don, good stuff. Mason Klein, the tight end. He will pick up 5 yards on first down. And this offense by Furman is led by offensive coordinator Justin Roper. Now, back in college, he was a quarterback for 3 years at Oregon under Chip Kelly. He's learned a ton about the spread offense.
Yeah, Chip Kelly, of course, one of the innovators, right, of modern offenses, and the big thing he brought was the spread. And you see elements of that in this attack right there for Furman. Guys out in space and wide receivers blocking on the perimeter. That's a hallmark of that style of offense.
This is Roberto on 2nd and 5. He uses that big body, falls forward, gets the first down.
I'll tell you what's really standing out right now to me for Furman is no negative plays, right? Everything's positive. Even if it's short passes, they're completing it. There's Justin Roper, as we talked about, all 6'6" of him. Former quarterback, but yeah, no negative plays. That's what you can't have. You're going to come in here and slay the beast in an SEC stadium. No negative plays. Keep being efficient, moving those chains. Excellent job so far.
1st and 10, looking to throw. Huff over the middle, and a strong grab in traffic. That was Colton Hinton, a gain of 13, just went up and got it.
Tyler Huff is dealing right now. Balls in perfect spots. Accuracy is a premium here in today's college football. Puts that ball right up there where only his wide receiver can get it. And everything about that young man. In fact, he's 2nd lieutenant in the Army. He leads those guys. He's sure leading this offense right now.
In the red zone on 1st and 10. They fake the reverse. This is Harris. He'll be pushed out of bounds, a gain of about 4. Another interesting thing about that conversation with offensive coordinator Justin Roper, he was saying Chip Kelly, when he was in college, his major was in the art of teaching. So one thing he picked up from Chip Kelly was basically simplify things. Give people little nuggets that they can digest so they can actually implement it.
John, I can't tell you how many coaches I've played for that knew everything about offense or defense, but couldn't explain it to a kid, right? Couldn't explain it to a player in a simple way that made things make sense to that player. So that's the key is not do you know it, but can you explain it to someone so they can execute it?
2nd and 6, Roberto. Will be tackled down at the 9. It'll bring up 3rd and short. We have a South Carolina player down after the play.
This is such a beat-up team, South Carolina.
Looks like it's Jalen Kilgore. The field, he walked off with his own power. He is now in the medical tent. But this is huge news, Rocky, because he's the backup safety. Because the starting safety, Nick Imanwori, he got hurt first game of the year against North Carolina. They could be down their 2 safeties.
Yeah, Imanwori is their best defensive player. He's missing tonight, and Kilgore's, as you said, is the one in for him. A true freshman, a lot of potential, and a guy that's they're going to depend upon a lot tonight. So you got 2 safeties out.
Play of the drive coming up for Furman on 3rd and 1 from the 9. Keeper for Huff. And that is just one tough dude. Gets inside the 5, down at the 4. It'll be 1st and goal.
What a great play call, too. Spread 3 wide receivers out to the left. Pull your tight end across. Fake the handoff. Lead back. I mean, this is good stuff. Love this offense right now. Justin Roper, the offensive coordinator we talked about. It just looks like it's keeping the South Carolina defense off balance, right? They're spreading it out, then they bring it in tight. They got some trick plays going on. It's tough for defense.
5 rushes for 26 yards tonight. Roberto now in the backfield. They fake to him, roll out to the left. It's complete to Shiflett, and he scores. Touchdown, Furman. A 4-yard touchdown pass from Huff to Shiflett. And Furman retakes the lead. South Carolina fans are stunned right now. So they use 2 kickers at Furman. This will be Ian Williams now for the extra point. And he makes it a 14-7 game. What a drive. 11 plays, 66 yards in just over 5 minutes for Furman. It's Tyler Huff leading the way, rolling out to his left, finds his receiver. And do we have an upset brewing in Columbia?
This was. It doesn't look like much, but Huff rolling away from his throwing arm and just puts that ball in the absolute perfect spot with the outstretched arms of Shiflett, who finds his way to the corner. And man, so impressed with Tyler Huff tonight. And Don, you're telling me down on the field, you can see that composure that he has.
I'm super impressed with his composure. He told me that's his best asset, by the way. He said he stays at 80%, no matter what. Not too high, not too low, because he has to keep the team calm, even when they're hyped up. And that's what he is right now. Just even keel, sat on the bench, went straight to his OC, just talked it over. I mean, composure down here, the leadership, the respect you see his teammates give him, all of it stands out.
Furman was ready to play tonight, as this one will go into the end zone. South Carolina back out on offense.
And I think the tough thing for South Carolina's defense is usually about this point of the game, you can say, okay, here's what this offense is trying to do to us. Here's kind of their MO. South Carolina doesn't know what it is right now. It's a little bit of everything. Spread them out, pack them in, play action pass, short game, long game. You've got a quarterback who can create. It's a tough stuff out here for South Carolina. Let's see if their offense and Spencer Rattler can respond.
4th drive of the game for South Carolina. They missed from 50 on their first drive, touchdown on the second, and then punt on the last drive. They start this one on the ground with Joyner. And he is stood up at the line of scrimmage. Shane Beamer said, yes, we know about the holes we have on the offensive line, but nobody is panicking. He really feels like it's important to establish the run tonight.
They do, and you got to go out there and play. Again, you can't find out about anything about anyone. You can't find out about your players until you go out there and do it. They got to execute.
Rattler, he's got all kinds of time. Find somebody underneath. That's his running back to carry on Joyner. He picks up 12 for a first down.
Spencer Rattler has come out tonight and looked really, really good, composed, hitting wide open wide receivers. That's what a quarterback has to do.
They go back to Joyner. This time he picks up 3 on first down.
I'd really like to see South Carolina get Xavier Legette involved here. Throw that ball up to number 17. He'll come down with it.
They throw to the outside. A shifty move on Marion Brown. They've got a ton of star wide receivers. Juice Wells, Brown, Legette. After a gain of 16, 1st and 10. Rattler goes underneath to his running back, Joyner again. And there's the late penalty flag coming from out of bounds.
That's her first self-inflicted mistake by Furman tonight.
After the play, personal foul, late hit, defense, number 43. 15 yards will be added to the end of the play. First down.
Ducks his head. He gets 2 feet out of bounds, and then, yeah, that's going to get called every single time. Poor job right there.
Braden Gilby called for the flag for Furman. That'll set up South Carolina 1st and 10 from the 21. Fake the toss, handoff is to the middle with McDowell.
I think if you're a South Carolina fan, you still like to see a little more push from that offensive line. They're doing a decent job, but you want to see those white jerseys start to go backwards as this game goes on.
Second and 9 from the Furman 20. Rattler completes it over the middle. That's Trey Knox. That's their best tight end. He's a guy they want to get involved.
Yeah, Spencer Rattler's throwing dimes tonight, and every one of his passes has been right on the money. hits his 6'5" tight end Knox. Big play.
First and goal from the 5. Rattler keeps it himself. Oh, he is punished. What a hit. Evan DiMaggio.
Wow, DiMaggio laid the wood on Rattler right there. He's got his chest puffed out. Good job shuffling back and just lowering the boom on Rattler. You're going to feel that one.
So that slows up the tempo a little bit for South Carolina. On second and goal. Jump cut by Joyner. And will be stopped at the 1.
Good job by Joyner. It wasn't much of a hole there, but he just kept his legs pumping, found a little bit of daylight, and got a few. Now they're going to go back up the line quick.
A quarterback sneak on third and goal, and they're going to mark him short. And a late touchdown signal. Spencer Rattler, the 1-yard touchdown plunge.
Yeah, I didn't know what they were waiting on. It looked like he was crossed the line. His knees did not touch. Rush up the ball, a little quarterback push play. And a great block by Nick Gargiulo, left guard.
So Jeter comes on to try to tie this game with the extra point. And it's up and good. All tied at 14 apiece here in the second quarter. Rocky, the sneak by Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, he ran right behind Nick Gargiulo. A great job by the left guard there. A little bit of push. And that's what you got to do in football. You got to answer. South Carolina does that.
An atmosphere at Williams-Brice Stadium for the home opener for South Carolina. A sold-out crowd. But we got a ball game. Furman out of the FCS.
And I think the story's been, John, great quarterback play on both sides of the ball. Spencer Rattler has been fantastic tonight. But Tyler Huff, 6 of 8, 33 yards, done a great job running the ball. Quarterbacks, it's all about them, man. They're playing well tonight.
That one goes to the end zone, so Tyler Huff will come back out.
And Tyler Huff, we talked about his leadership skills and his abilities. He's come out tonight and really done a good job leading this offense here. This is the first play of the game. He's going to keep it now. He ain't going to just keep handing that ball off in crunch time. He wants the ball in his hands. Good job on the ground, and then I just thought that was an excellent play design and technique by Tyler Huff for that last touchdown.
A shift up front, and we have a flag before the snap.
False start. Offense, number 65. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Well, great news for South Carolina because their starting safety, Jalen Kilgore, is back on the field.
Yeah, that's a great sight right there. As we talked about, he's in for Nick Emanwari. A great safety returning from last year. Good to have number 24 back.
First and 15. Robinson is spun down. Just got back to the line of scrimmage. No gain after the big stop by Debo Williams.
Debo Williams, he just loves to run around and hit people. I love watching Zero. Former linebacker myself, and that guy, as we talked with Shane Beamer yesterday, he's always intense, right? There's never a time where Debo Williams is not into it and motivated.
You need guys like that.
Yeah.
No gain on first. It's second and 15. Huff keeps it rolling out. He's got to get rid of it. And they're going to say, was he down or is it incomplete? Incomplete pass, 3rd down. That was Brian Thomas with the pressure.
This team is young, but they are athletic. What a great job by Brian Thomas, reversing field and then just shot out of a cannon. Got to Huff before he could do anything with it.
It feels like momentum is starting to turn for South Carolina.
And that's where South Carolina's got to shut the door right now. 3rd and very, very long. They cannot afford to give up a 1st down right here.
3rd and 15. Huff, the slant incomplete. He was looking for Ben Ferguson.
And that's the first bad throw of the night for Tyler Huff. Still don't think they would have got the 1st down, but good job by the South Carolina defense answering. As we well know, South Carolina is known for their special teams. I have to imagine they'll be coming for this, trying to get a block.
Ryan Levy just does get the punt away. It'll take a Furman roll, and it'll be down at the 35. A 45-yard punt. And South Carolina back on offense with a chance to take their first lead of the ballgame.
And now's where I think Spencer Rattler has an opportunity to really take this game in his hands. He's confident. I think he feels a little bit better, a little better protected tonight. That offensive line doing a better job. See if he can really do some damage.
First and 10 from their own 35. Rattler trying to set up the screen. He's got Brown. Brown picked up maybe 3 there.
And that's what a lot of this offense is going to be all year. If you're a South Carolina fan, this is their strength. The wide receivers on the perimeter, a lot of ability. It's going to be a lot of one-steps, a lot of bubble screens. You just get that ball to those guys in space on the perimeter. I mean, that's kind of a run game, what they're doing right now, when you just kind of one-step that ball to those wide receivers.
Leggett was in the backfield. Now he goes in motion. They give him the swing pass. And he is stopped for a loss of 1. Travis Blackshear just flexing on him.
Travis Blackshear flexed last week on about the 5th or 6th play of the game, a pick 6. That way to start the season off. But look at this. I mean, fighting off a block. He got ear-holed, stayed up, and came up and made the tackle on a humongous wide receiver. What a great play by Blackshear.
Furman, they're sending the house on 3rd and 8. Picked up nicely by the offensive line, but the throw is too high off the mark. Juice Wells couldn't bring it down.
One of the first times I saw some pressure. Bring the linebacker up the middle, safety off the outside. Just got right into the face. Spencer Rattler did a good job sorting it out. It's got to be a little more stout. Got to hold that thing and not allow that pressure to get back in his face. But Spencer Rattler knows that's one he's got to have.
That's actually his first incompletion of the night. Before that, he was perfect, 12 of 12 for 97 yards. Ty Kroger is on to punt. A low line drive spiral. Fielded by Harris. And run out of bounds shy of the 20. All tied up at 14 apiece for the home opener for South Carolina. 6:19 to play in the second. We'll be back after this. Watch the live performance of the mighty sound of the Southeast on the SEC Network Plus. Start streaming now on the ESPN app.
You know, John, these games where these teams going back and forth like this, usually it's the first team that can get a takeaway. They're the ones that can capture that momentum. Let's see if South Carolina's defense can come up with something.
Throwing on 1st down, Huff completes it to Shiflett in the slot, and now a late penalty flag comes flying in as a South Carolina defender is down. It looks like it's Keenan Nelson Jr. Might have collided with Debo Williams.
Pass interference. Offense. Number 3. 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
So offensive pass interference called. But let's see if we can see the collision at the end.
Oh, wow. fire there. That didn't look good at all. I didn't see what the offensive pass interference was.
And it was a very late flag that came in after the play was over. Out of the backfield, Roberto. He'll be taken down on 1st and 18. Kawan Banks with a big tackle.
South Carolina defense is flying around out there. I think at some point it's going to be key for them to get some pressure, something they haven't shown. No sacks last week, none so far here tonight. Got to find a way to affect that quarterback.
They go to the screen again, this time Roberto. And Roberto will be marked down at the 19. Here comes the sold-out crowd inside Williams-Brice Stadium, looking for a stop on 3rd and 9.
Showing pressure. No wide receiver down the bottom there. You wonder if Marcel's dial will come on this.
Huff checking the protection. 3rd and 9. Pressured. Gets away. And just throws it to nobody. Incomplete. Oh, and a little after the play, he did not like that hit. A little scrappy.
And Tonka Hemingway, it's a great play design here. They brought the safety. Tonka Hemingway wound up coming scot-free. Couldn't bring Huff to the ground. See at the end. I don't think Tyler Huff liked Jordan Strawn up in his grill like that. Shane Beamer says, all right, come on. Come to the sideline. We're punting.
He wanted no part of that.
No.
Brown fields at the 36. He's got daylight in front of him, but we do have a penalty flag. Tripped up at the 40. That one could come back. And now Brown is down at the end of the play.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Return team, number 0. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. 1st down, South Carolina.
See if we can find a block in the back. Yeah. I think that was it right there. I think that was Juju McDowell. Good there for Aaron Brown.
Brown not able to put pressure on that right leg. He's going to be carried off the field.
And this team is just absolutely decimated by injuries. The offensive line really going before the season started. Then and more last week. They lost Casey Henry, their best offensive lineman. And Nicky Memori's been out. Oh, Jalen Kilgore go out earlier. He came back, but wow, just cannot fight that injury bug right now.
But the one consistent is the Spencer Rattler. He continues to keep South Carolina steady with everything else going on around him. 1st and 10. Handoff is to Joyner. Follows the blockers over the right side. Gets a good late push. Picked up about 6.
Good push by the offensive line that time. See him get Xavier Legette back involved in this game.
How about Juice Wells, too? There's a quick pass to Joshua Simon. And the tight end not able to make anything happen. They're going the wrong way. A loss of 2.
They haven't had much luck in that trips look to the outside with that bubble screen. And it's really just been because Furman's secondary, their corners, and Micah Robinson in particular have just been attacking that thing. That's what you can't do. That perimeter stuff, you can't sit back there and wait. You've got to go attack it, and they've done a great job.
A 5-wide set on 3rd and 6. Rattler rolling out, throws on the right. That's Eddie Lewis. He's the transfer from Memphis. They feel like he's a guy who's coming along. They want to get him involved, and now they got the first down.
And they're going to need to, just with all the injuries they're facing. But again, you can see what they're doing with Spencer Rattler tonight. It's a lot of just little rollouts, getting him outside the pocket, some dash stuff. Don't want him just camping back there.
On the ground with Joyner. A big collision. They'll be marked down at the 44.
I think for Joyner, as a former quarterback, can you be physical the way you need out of a running back? I'd say the answer is yes.
They go back to Lewis. And now they're trying to see who can emerge and give this team a spark on offense.
I think the other thing they're doing, John, along with that is they're just peppering the perimeter. Short stuff, right? Get quick screens, getting it out quick. At some point, I think they're going to follow this up with a shot.
Over the middle, and a big hit broken up in the secondary by Hugh Ryan. Eddie Lewis was trying to reel it in, but the safety said nothing doing.
Well, a little bit behind. Receiver, I think Spencer Rattler like to have that one back. Safety was right there. He wasn't fooled. Ryan, good job separating man from ball.
1st and 10 on the 49. They set up the screen to the left side. Carry on Joyner.
He's done a good job, and I think both run the ball and in the screen game. They've dumped a lot of balls off to him tonight, and he's made some positive yards.
Another 3rd down for the South Carolina offense as Juju McDowell, now the running back. They give it to him, trying to make a move in the hole, but he'll be stopped 2 yards short. Was that a play to set up 4th down, knowing you're going to go for it?
Yeah, I think if, in the age of analytics, the book is telling you, hey, pick up a few yards, give me a 4th and 2 here, and they're going to go for it, and that's exactly what's going to happen. And they may just decide here to let this play clock. Spencer Rattler wants to go, but I think Shane Beamer wants to run this play clock down, call a timeout, and maybe think about it a little more.
This would be the first attempt on 4th down for the offense of South Carolina tonight. As the play clock down to 2, 1, and there's the timeout by Shane Beamer. So 4th and 2. They set up that last run play to make it a little more manageable. What are you thinking if you're Shane Beamer in the offense for South Carolina?
Well, I'll tell you what, if you want to show that you got some confidence in that offensive line, if you've seen enough out of that group, I think you go run that ball right behind it. I think that would do a lot for their confidence. I think that Kerryon Joyner's done a good job tonight. He seems to be someone who can find just a little bit of daylight, pump this thing forward.
Furman, the longer this game goes on, the more and more confidence the Paladins are going to get. This game tied at 14.
Yeah, that's always the story when you play a team from an FCS opponent or a team you're supposed to beat. The longer you let them hang around, the worse it gets. You want to put a team away like this early, but you got to give the credit to Furman. This experienced group that we've talked about is coming here today on both sides of the ball and play some great football. And
remember, South Carolina received the ball first, so Furman will get the ball to start in the 3rd quarter. On 4th and 2, Rattler, he's looking to throw, pressured, and he completes it to the outside and picks up the 1st down for South Carolina. The dependable receiver, Xavier Legette.
That wouldn't have been the play I called, but it worked. You got the ball in the hands of number 17. But an out route to the outside far part of the field. And when you got a quarterback like Spencer Rattler, you have the confidence to call something like that.
Ball on the 36, 1st and 10. Rattler with plenty of time. He's throwing deep. End zone! Got him! Luke Doty, the touchdown for South Carolina. A 36-yard bomb, and the lights are out in Columbia.
Luke Doty, the backup quarterback. And I talk about it, John. You know, they're going to pepper the outside, keep hitting. At some point, you got to take a shot, and they did. And Spencer Rattler hit it.
Look at this formation. They're going for something tricky on the extra point, and the two-point conversion is no good.
I don't know about that. And that's what happens. You kind of lull the defense to sleep a little bit. They're expecting that short stuff out in the flat. You get a little quick crossing route. Coach Beamer talked about one of the best players on our football team is Luke Doty. We got to find a way to get him on the field, and they have. At wide receiver, great play design. Get him going right up the gut, and a beauty from Spencer Rattler.
That was Callie Chiswick in coverage who tripped, fell down. That enabled Luke Doty to get free and score the touchdown.
And Luke Doty, backup quarterback. You know, he had his, as Beamer said, football is about getting your best players on the field, and however you can do that. And what a tough job he has. During the course of a week of practice, he's the backup quarterback, so he's got to get a lot of reps at that, but he's also got to get some reps at wide receiver. Well, you can see that boy can play.
This coaching staff also talked about Luke Doty just being so unselfish.
Yeah. Being
a junior, he knows he's got a senior in front of him. He could be the quarterback in waiting, but said, I don't care. I just want to get on the field and help the team any way I can.
And how often do you see these days? As soon as the quarterback sees they don't win the job, boom, they're gone, right? They hit the portal, but give that man some credit.
That's Amarian Brown, wide receiver for South Carolina, got injured on that punt return, and here he is now on crutches. Another guy goes down for South Carolina.
And that is not good. Again, this is an offensive line that's still developing. They lack the ability to just have a powerful punishing run game, so their run game is getting the ball to their wide receivers in space. And when you lose a guy like Amarian Brown, that makes that duty so much tougher.
Hey guys, the guy walking next to him, Keenan Nelson, corner for South Carolina, so he headed to the locker room too.
A good grab over the middle, Josh Harris. He's the guy they feel like can win these one-on-one battles, especially against the elite cornerbacks for South Carolina. Furman calls a timeout. They've got 2 remaining here in this first half, 37 seconds to work with.
Justin Wilbur looking at that play sheet here. He's got to find somewhere on that play sheet a chunk yardage play. Got to get something big here.
And this Furman team, they use 2 kickers. Ian Williams is the guy who's got the bigger legs. They feel like if they can get to the 35, even the 40, that gives them a chance to take an attempt at this.
Yeah, very interesting using 2 kickers. They said that last year they had a kind of a competition. Both of them did great, so they just kind of continued it on through this year. It seemed to work for them.
So Furman with 2 timeouts left.
Kendall Dean down the bottom of the screen here. He's a good wide receiver.
2nd and 2, and threw it behind his receiver, Ferguson. He had him. He was open on that slant. And remember, under 2 minutes of each half, the clock does stop with a first down as they reset the chains. The new rule this year, only the final 2 minutes of each half. 3rd and 2. They go on the ground with Roberto, and he did not get there. It'll be 4th down.
South Carolina going to call timeout. Yep.
Seconds.
So South Carolina will burn their final timeout at the half with 27 seconds to play. But you don't have your explosive punt returner, Brown. Let's see who they put in there. That's assuming Furman even decides to punt here on 4th and 1.
I can't imagine. You got to punt this ball away. You don't convert right here. You're giving South Carolina a field goal. Furman does get the ball coming out of it at a halftime here.
If you're Furman, you punt this ball away. South Carolina's out of timeouts. You think you got to feel good about yourself going into the half down by 6.
Agreed. Yeah, you're right within striking distance. Played a great first half.
But that's Justin Roper, the offensive coordinator, with the guys rallied around him in the huddle, so maybe the offense is coming back out.
Should be interesting. I think it's very risky to do this in this area of the field with this situation.
It's just a yard, though.
Many of offensive coordinators have said that over the course of the year. Just a yard. That's what they're doing. They're buying a little time here to see if, in fact, that first down was picked up.
So now the officials are going to review to see where the spot of the ball was. If Roberto, in fact, did get a little closer to the marker. So hard to tell where the ball is.
It's so hard to tell, you know, and did he land on another player, you know, before he was able to get that ball across the line?
The ruling on the field was short of the marker.
Wasn't the best spot in the world, but
After video review, the ruling on the field of the runner being short of the line to gain stands. Furman will be charged their 2nd timeout of the half. 4th down.
So Furman will be charged their 2nd timeout because the call on the field stands short of the line to gain. And now here does come the punt team.
yeah. I couldn't imagine going for it right there at that point.
So Eddie Lewis will be the new punt returner for South Carolina after Brown went into the locker room on crutches. Ryan Levy, but before he punts, we do have a whistle.
The ball was not made ready for play. Remains 4th down.
Here comes the pressure from South Carolina as Levy gets it off, and a fair catch called for by Lewis. Down at the 25. No timeouts remaining. 23 seconds. If you're South Carolina, do you try something here?
I think sure. I think you take a shot here early and see if you can get something toward the sideline, get out of bounds, but you got to have a big play here right out of the gate. If you don't get that, then I think you just kind of wrap it up and take it into halftime. If you want a big play, I look for number 17. It's him at the top of the screen.
Rattler, let's see what he can come up with here. Under 20 seconds of play and a half. He's heaving it deep. Caught! It's that man again, Xavier Legette, bailing out this South Carolina offense. makes a 54-yard connection.
Just how you draw it up, right? He was flushed out. But look at the arm talent. He has to roll to his right, backed up a little bit, and just throws a shot.
So Rattler kills the clock, 12 seconds. What a throw and catch.
And this is what Dal Loggins, the offensive coordinator, was talking about to us yesterday. And look, you got a guy like Leggett, have some faith in him. Throw the ball up to him. He's turning around, spinning, jumps up, and comes down with it over top of Hugh Ryan. That is the explosive play you need. And when you need that play, you go to 17, because that's what he can do.
Did he get away with a little shove, a little something?
A little bit, maybe.
All right. I figured it's a defensive guy. You'd be all over the golf.
Yeah, right. I don't know. I like that play. That looked pretty good.
Okay. 2nd and 10. Rattler overthrows Leggett, but a penalty flag comes down.
And I think they're going to get Blackshear here for a hold. He had Leggett's hands wrapped up as that ball was in the air.
Pass interference. Defense, number 1. 15-yard penalty. Results in first down.
Travis Blackshear called for pass interference. 7 seconds to play in this first half.
He's going to go back to 17, but yeah, you can see he's all over him. Blackshear is. We got time for 2 more plays here. If you play it right.
Rattler looking left, throws, end zone! Touchdown! Omega Blake right before the half. A 7-yard strike, and South Carolina increases their lead.
Efficient football. They got that ball back with 26 seconds. They're buried deep in their own territory. But Spencer Rattler comes up huge, finding Leggett for the big gain and executing a touchdown drive with 3 seconds left on the clock.
Cheater's extra point is good, and Omega Blake, he's the wide receiver who got all those snaps in week 1 when Juice Wells went down early against North Carolina.
He got good size too, 6'2" out on the outside. Just give him a chance, you know. Spencer Rattler going there all the way. Physical, just boxed him out, threw it up high, back shoulder, and then just rips it up. He says, this touchdown is mine.
South Carolina went 75 yards in 3 plays in just 20 seconds.
It's because they have a trigger man that can make something like that happen. He had confidence in Xavier Leggett. If he just gave him a chance, he was going to come down with it. Get helped out by the penalty, and then you find the other big wide receiver, Omega Blake, on the outside. It's really impressed with Spencer Rattler. And I know there's a lot of detractors out there about him, and he has been largely inconsistent throughout his career. But I'll tell you what, so far this year, he has been deadly. Last week, 30 of 39, 350 against North Carolina. Didn't turn the ball over. And tonight, he has played exceptionally well. Spencer Rattler, of course, he wants to make his NFL dreams come true here, and this is his year to do it. Dal Loggins told us yesterday, you know, when NFL people, they call him. You know, maybe some of the media people out there don't think he's an NFL quarterback. NFL folks think he is. That's why they're calling about him.
He said he got 3 calls from NFL GMs this week. 20 unanswered points scored by South Carolina, a 13-point lead, 3 seconds to play in this first half.
And look at that, 18 of 20, efficient, accurate, couple touchdown passes, and the big one for him is that big 0 in the INT column. And that's the thing that's kind of snuck up and got him in years past, but so far this year, he's done an excellent job protecting the football.
So that'll do it for the half. South Carolina is 11-1 under Shane Beamer when leading at the half. Our halftime score, South Carolina 27, Furman 14. The Paladins will receive the second half kickoff. Coming up at the halftime report after the messages we sent it to Dari Noka, Chris Doring, Benjamin Watson. The home opener for South Carolina.
Has to continue for them in this half. Asked him to grade his O-line guys, and he said, I think they're doing pretty good. You got to remember we got 2 true freshmen rotating in there.
That is a good point to remember. Thank you, Dawn. Sandstorm, is that 3 or 4 tonight?
Keep playing it. It's working. Well, Don mentioned it, the youth in the offensive line, but also, transfers. Sidney Fugar is from Western Illinois. Nick Gargiulo is from Yale. It's just hard for that group, especially coming in late as a transfer. That group has to play a lot together to get on the same page here, so they're working it out. They look good tonight.
Furman will receive the kick to start this third quarter. Mitch Jeter will boot things away. Harris and Hinton are the deep men for the Paladins. Strong leg for Jeter. He kicks that one through the end zone. So Tyler Huff has a chance to get his offense on track as South Carolina has scored 20 unanswered.
And I think, look, if you're Furman, you're still confident. You put up 14 points against this team. You've shown you can do it. So, no looking at the scoreboard here. Just try to put good play after good play together here. Clay Hendricks from the sideline enjoyed talking with him. He's a lifer at Furman. Coached there, played there, came back to coach there. Loves it at Furman.
1st and 10 from their own 25. Mason Klein, the tight end, in motion. And this one off to Dominic Roberto. And he'll be stopped for a gain of 2. Keeping up with the conversation about Clay Hendrick being a lifer at Furman, he said something that he loves about being at Furman, the academic standards and the players that he recruits. Not only do you have to love football, but you also have to love school, because most likely you are moving on to something else after your football life is over.
Correct. You're just getting a high-caliber individual at Furman. As you mentioned, John, players that are good in the classroom, good off the field, good on the field.
Almost intercepted. Now it was Jordan Strawn getting his hand on it. Incomplete.
Jordan Strawn, he's another big transfer pickup for South Carolina, come over from Georgia State. This is a great defensive call here. You drop the defensive end in the coverage. The quarterback never expects that. He got a paw on it. He could have got 2. Could have been a house call.
Furman the ball on their own 27. Third and 8. And that one is blown dead. Penalty flag.
All 11 players of the offense were not set prior to the snap. That's a foul for a false start. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Furman with a self-inflicted mistake here, and South Carolina was going to bring pressure. Let's see if they do it again here with the sticks backed up. Another 5 yards, 3rd and 13.
That's the 5th penalty against Furman tonight for 48 yards. 3rd and 13 to start this third quarter. It looked like South Carolina came across the line early. Let's see what the flag is. Brian Thomas Jr. got an early jump.
Prior to the snap, offside, defense, number 46, unabated to the quarterback. That's a 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
So for South Carolina, that's now their 4th penalty for 25 yards. Shane Beamer.
He can't believe it. He's like, we get a penalty back on the 3rd and 13. We're getting ready to bring the dogs on them, and you're offsides. Just stuff, I think, in his opinion, they're not quite good enough of a football team right now to continue to do stuff like that.
On 3rd and 8. Huff over the middle. And he's got his receiver, Josh Harris, for a first down.
South Carolina chose to not bring pressure there, and I think that allowed Tyler Huff that clean pocket that he needed. When he's been clean tonight, he has been deadly accurate. We saw it again there, picking up the first down.
He needed 8, picked up 9. We keep going back to that game last year at Clemson where Furman hung around, actually outgained them in total yards. Josh Harris was the guy who was challenging those corners for Clemson all night long. First and 10. Huff, quick throw. That slant is there again, right back to Harris. And they're going to give him a first down, a gain of 10.
That offensive line shot low and just tried to cut those defensive linemen down so they couldn't get their hands up, and they fit that quick slant in behind.
Ball on the 46, first and 10. Now this time to the ground, it's Roberto. Tackled by Donald Fortune.
And he's hurt. That's not something you want. Your 180-pound cornerback coming up on Dominic Roberto, who goes 230. His arm was hanging off him, off the side of him.
Timeout on the field for a player injury.
Tom, what do you got?
Yeah, you definitely don't want to see that if you're South Carolina, because here's the deal. They are without cornerback Keenan Nelson. Went in at halftime, and they have told me now that he is done for the game. So you're going to see Kawan Banks back there wearing number 48 right now. But on top of that, they're already missing Nick Imamori. So a lot of starters in this secondary out. Just got a true freshman in there who there's a lot of teaching going on here on the sidelines. So hopefully Fortune is okay on that play.
And that's the thing. You got two groups that are young, right? The offensive line and the secondary. It's hard to develop that group when so many guys are getting injured. It makes it so much tougher.
Second and 7. Furman pressured and dropped. A huge sack by DQ Smith.
Finally, South Carolina gets one in the sack column here. A little delayed blitz and a good job. Roberto tried to come with a chop block.
Tyreek Johnson, the first guy to get in there on the quarterback.
Tyreek Johnson, 6'3", 270, high motor guy.
Third and 11 from the 45. Setting up a screen underneath. It's Ben Ferguson. He's got some blocks. He will rumble into South Carolina territory, tackled inside the 40.
And this is the play they tried to run earlier, but if you recall, Huff was a little bit errant in the throw behind the wide receiver. This time they set up that screen to perfection.
Tyler Huff on that pass now goes over 5,000 career passing yards between his career. First started at Presbyterian College, now here at Furman as a grad transfer.
Yeah, methodic pace right now they're going with, but it's working.
South Carolina stacking the box. And they knock back Roberto. That's about a loss of 3.
And finally, that defensive line group for South Carolina has shown up. They didn't show up against North Carolina. They're playing well now. TJ Sanders, 6'5", 298.
After the loss on first down, brings up 2nd and 13. Empty backfield for Huff. And he can't get away. TJ Sanders comes flying in for the sack.
2 plays in a row for TJ Sanders coming right up the gut. The same thing, they tried to go low and chop him, but if you're athletic like TJ Sanders, you're not fazed by it. And they tried getting in his feet, but he was able to get down, push off, keep his balance, and get the sack. Excellent job. What a just athletic play by a big, athletic human being.
You were a linebacker. What's the key to shedding that chop block?
You got to recognize it first, and then it's using your hands. So many players, even in college football, don't do a good job using their hands. Got to get down, push off that block, and keep your balance. Showing pressure right up the middle. See if they bring it.
Robinson in motion. Carson Jones now in at quarterback. 3rd and 18. Jones almost picked off. Debo Williams had it in his hands.
I like that defensive call there by Clayton White. Little fire zone. Showed linebacker pressure up the middle, but they dropped the defensive lineman out. Debo Samuels was in that window. It's a tough look for a quarterback to try to make a big throw on.
Ten plays, and Furman is now forced to punt. It's going to check up and take a Furman roll. Will be downed at the 10. But South Carolina, with a 13-point lead, will get their first touch of the rock here in the second half. Welcome back to Columbia, South Carolina. John Schrift alongside Rocky Boyman, Don Davenport. A 13-point lead for South Carolina. Spencer Rattler will get the ball for the first time here in the 3rd quarter, but to carry on Joyner, man, has he carried the load. The former quarterback, former wide receiver, now first year at running back. Rattler, the pump fake. He's looking for a big hitter. Lewis had to make an adjustment. That's why he came to the ground with it. Otherwise, he'd still be running.
The ball a little bit underthrown by Spencer Rattler, but he has a pretty nice pocket, John. This was the key. Could they find a way to block and give him time? They did. Little underthrown, but a great job by Lewis coming back for that ball. That's what you're as a quarterback. It can't be perfect every time. You got to have receivers that are going to fight back and come get that ball and make you look good.
There's Joyner. Bruising his way forward. It's incredible what Joyner has done, converting from quarterback to wide receiver to running back. And we've seen quarterbacks make adjustments to other positions, but what he's asked to do, he's also asked to be physical and be a blocker.
And that's the thing. Usually as at the quarterback position, it's just a different style. At running back, it's, running behind the offensive line, power, that sort of thing. Zone run game. But I think the thing that helps Joyner is he's got the body style for it. He's 6'1", he's 230, put on a few pounds, knowing he's going to play that running back position. I think the biggest thing for him that's the shocker is how quickly he was able to adjust to pass protection. That's something that takes a long, long time. There's guys that played 2 and 3 years at running back and can't quite get that down. That's what Dal Loggins loved about him. He was so quick to pick up that pass protection game.
So a Furman Paladin is down. And we will step aside and come back to Columbia after this. 10 years ago.
How was that 10 years ago? Seems like yesterday. Won an ESPY for that hit. That was incredible. Seems like yesterday, but
I'm telling you, as soon as you mentioned that, all the South Carolina fans could immediately picture it.
Oh, I can picture it.
Rattler on 3rd and 8. Furman brings pressure, hit as he throws. Jump ball! What a catch! Xavier Legette. He is him. A 42-yard touchdown strike, and South Carolina's pouring it on now.
Legette is legit. Throw that man the ball. I mean, what an incredible player. He is riding the momentum and showing he is a top wide receiver in the SEC.
Jeter's extra point is up and good. Leggett on the night. 6 catches, 118 yards, and a touchdown. Man, is he a weapon for South Carolina.
We talked about it. He's coming off that great Outback Bowl game Gator Bowl game. Great first game of the season, career day, and he's able to track the ball in the air. Get a little tiny push off there. But physical wide receivers are a quarterback's best friend because they know they don't have to put the ball on the sides of a corner. They can throw that ball just in the general vicinity, and they know their wide receiver will come get it.
The coaching staff could not speak highly enough of Xavier Leggett. This is a young man who lost both of his parents within a year of each other when he was back in high school. They say he has dealt with all kinds of adversity over the course of his life, but you would never know it. He always shows up so positive every day in practice. The guys look up to him. And even in the loss against North Carolina, they recognized him after the game for his effort and what he brought.
They did. They made a captain for the game. And you know, he was reluctant. He's like, why should I be the captain? I didn't do enough. I didn't play well enough. And well, you can see the kind of plays the young man has. I mean, just coach talked about someone who rededicated himself in his final year here. Didn't miss one practice, didn't miss one rep of a practice in the offseason, and you can see that practice, that time he's put in is paying off big time.
So Furman will come back out on offense after that drive by South Carolina. 4 plays, 90 yards in a minute and 30. The big one was that 42-yard bomb, and it's now 27 unanswered points by the Gamecocks.
You know, guys, it was interesting. You had just showed those NFL guys, those Gamecock NFL guys before that touchdown. Well, those guys continue to stay connected to the program, and Leggett actually trained out in Arizona with Deebo Samuel this summer. Spent about 2 weeks with him, bulked up a bit, learned a few things, all part of that summer for Leggett that coaches called his best yet. Obviously, we are seeing him reap the benefits of that.
That's what good players do, Don. They surround themselves by other great players and learn from them. What's some tricks of the trade? How do you prepare? How do you train? Xavier Leggett is showing that he is the man here in the SEC.
Jaquan Smith with his first carry tonight for Furman. Furman offensively, they had 2 touchdowns in their first 3 drives. Ever since, their last 4 drives have all been punts.
And just going back to Leggett real quick, you know, a lot of times those guys on the outside, those corners, those nickels, are smaller-bodied guys. They just don't have the strength to deal with a guy who runs as fast as Leggett, but is also 230 pounds.
2nd and 3, Huff scrambling. Dominic Roberto unable to come up with a one-handed grab. Feels like South Carolina has a chance to put this game away right here.
Yeah, I think this is huge right here. You find a way to force Furman to punt again.
Third and 3. Throw in the slant, and South Carolina was ready. Marcellus Dial jumped the route, incomplete.
South Carolina defense, they attack. They may not be experienced, they may not know what they're doing every time, but they attack. They play fast. They fake the pressure up the middle. And that was a great job by Dial there getting a hand on it.
Ryan Levy just got that punt away. Eddie Lewis trying to spin away. Did not get many yards, but he showed you he's got some shiftiness. He's got some moves. Eddie Lewis has also emerged tonight for South Carolina in this game. A punt of 48 yards, a return of 5. South Carolina up by 20.
Yeah, he had a great game last week, and he showed up and said he can do it again. Just great ball skills. Ball is high in the air. He uses that big frame of his. A little bit of a push off here, but I like letting those wide receivers go.
A new quarterback for South Carolina, Luke Doty, the backup who has been playing receiver. He will hand it off on his first snap. That's to Mario Anderson. So Doty, they said he did not want to step on the heels of Rattler. They made sure they'd given him some room. That's why he switched to wide receiver. Here he is at quarterback, showing the athleticism.
Not sure if I quite understand this. Yeah, I feel like it's a little bit early, unless there's something wrong with Spencer Rattler, which doesn't appear to be the case. I feel like it's a little early bringing your backup quarterback. Something happens, turnover, pick six, something like that, and all of a sudden Furman's knocking back on the door. But shows they have confidence in Luke Doty.
Complete to Eddie Lewis.
I just can't imagine what it's like for Luke Doty with practice. You know, the wide receiver coach is trying to drag him over there to learn wide receiver. Dow Loggins is trying to drag him over to quarterback so he can learn that. He's doing double duty out there.
Anderson banks forward, and a penalty flag comes in at the end of that play. Doty's also in on special teams.
Yeah.
He's dragged all over practice.
That just shows coaches want good football players.
Holding. Offense. Number 55. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Guys, I actually asked Luke how he keeps it all straight with so many different responsibilities. He's in different rooms, and he told me that he has a knack for compartmentalizing each position. Credited the coaches for making it easier for him to know each responsibility.
You're right. And the good thing, Don, is if you play quarterback, you got a good understanding of what everyone else is doing, right? You're the captain out there. So you know what the routes are. You know what is expected out of the wide receivers. Now you just got to go put yourself in that spot and go do it. But I mean, nevertheless, it's still very, very tough duty to be pulled in so many directions.
Under 6 minutes to play in this third quarter on 2nd and 9. Another good run by Mario Anderson. So Spencer Rattler appears that his night is done. You take a look at the numbers. How would you assess his performance?
That's getting it done, man. 25 of 27, only 2 incompletions, 345 yards, 3 touchdowns. Again, the big one, no interceptions. And it's a fine line as a quarterback between, you know, you can't just only throw to dead open guys. You got to fit balls into tight windows, but you can't get them to where you're forcing the ball into a throw that's not there. I think he's done a good balance of that. He's had to lace a few needles tonight, and he's done it. But he hasn't put the ball in harm's way. That's what a coach wants.
You know, Furman's a team that lives on taking the ball away. They led the FCS last season in takeaways. 6 takeaways last week in their opener, but nothing tonight.
And that's what they needed to have happen here in order to come in and pull the upset, is get some takeaways. So far, they've not been able to do it.
Dowell on the run.
Holding. Offense. Number 77. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
The offensive line still hasn't come along just yet. That's the piece that they still need to work on.
It's been certainly much, much better tonight. I think when they have asked Spencer Rattler to sit back in that pocket and throw a deeper ball, they've been able to provide some protection. So it's certainly better. It's well on its way to where it needs to be, but just going to take more and more reps.
Doty, a dart. And that one's incomplete. Looking for his running back, McDowell. To your point, though, it's just a 20-point game.
Yeah,
and it's now 3rd and 18. If Furman gets the ball back and can put a drive together.
I don't understand it at all. This game is by no means in the bag here to start taking Spencer Rattler out. Haven't seen Xavier Legette in the game.
3rd and 18. The 4-man rush by the Paladins. And incomplete. Doty threw it at the feet of his intended receiver. Tyshawn Russell was the receiver he was looking for. So South Carolina, the punt team is on. This will be their first punt since 6:19 left in the second quarter. That's how many drives they've put together with Spencer Rattler.
And just what they needed.
And that one's going to be down at the 1. Nice job on special teams for South Carolina.
Xavier Legette, too.
57-yard punt. How about special teams? Your leading receiver hustling down it at the 1.
That's, and I'll tell you what, that's what the NFL scouts are going to love even more, right? There's a guy that's catching balls all over the place. A lot of guys would say, hey, I'll leave you guys that special teams thing. Guy runs down and downs the ball inside the 1-yard line. That's impressive.
Next Saturday, Week 3 SEC Network College Football lineup. Missouri hosts number 15 Kansas State. It's at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central to start the day. Then, number 23 Texas A&M hosts Louisiana Monroe. 7 Eastern, 6 Central on SEC Plus. Auburn hosts Sanford. And we cap the day with number 20 Ole Miss hosting Georgia Tech in our SEC Saturday night matchup. So Furman backed up from their own end zone, taking a shot. Huff had to get rid of it. Did they complete that pass? What a catch. An unbelievable job by Huff, standing in the pocket and taking the shot by Stone Blanton. But then Josh Harris reeled it in for 27.
I mean, Stone Blanton was absolutely unblocked. Full head of steam, comes right into the chops of Tyler Huff, and he completes the ball. Spinning around.
Wow, that was with Dial all over.
Wow. Great coverage, great blitz, great call. I just made a play.
Robinson gets the carry. And a good tackle. Jalen Kilgore was shaken up earlier in the game, coming up from the secondary to make the stop.
It's good to see him back. True freshman out there, making plays. Hopefully he can get through here this game and get Mickey and Worry back. Their best defensive player, their eraser.
Second and 9. Huff keeps it himself on the run. Chased down, incomplete. Was looking for Dean. That was good coverage.
And most of the time on third down lately, they've done a good job of bringing some fire zones where they'll show a guy, someone will blitz from a linebacker or a safety position, and they'll drop a defensive lineman into a hole, try to force a bad throw with the blitz, and find yourself with a defensive lineman in a window that the quarterback doesn't see. See what they do here on this one.
Furman tonight on third down, 4 for 11. This one's 3rd and 9. Play clock winding down, and I don't think they got it off. There's the flag.
Prior to the snap, delay game, offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
You know, we've talked a lot about Spencer Rattler, responsible for this 27-point unanswered run by South Carolina. Got to give a lot of credit to the defense for the Gamecocks.
No, they've done a great job. They really have. I think that front defensive line has come together. And I think those corners have played well. Dials played well. Fortune's played well on the outside.
3rd and 14. Huff scrambling, and he's not going to get away. DQ Smith, the first guy to get in there. Jordan Strawn also helping out.
Jordan Strawn off the outside there. See him on the left, fighting, scratching, clawing, coming back through. Cavalry to come Hemingway to clean it up. First punt.
Furman, a low wobbly kick, angling towards the sideline, will go out of bounds inside the 35.
So we'll see if it's Doty back at quarterback or
So a new quarterback, Lenoris Sellers, with the goggles. Let me see what you got. Sellers with the quarterback keeper. And everyone's getting in on the action tonight for South Carolina.
I still say a 20-point lead at the end of the third quarter is not quite enough. I think that's what you're Shane Beamer, you want to do. You want to utilize this game as an opportunity to get your young players some experience.
On 2nd and 6. Mario Anderson. Sellers keeps it himself. Got a little shiftiness to him. Throws on the run. Throws a strike to Eddie Lewis.
I think you can see that Sellers is an athletics talent. He's got some speed to him. Big, tall kid. Make the guy miss. Throw across his body. Great job.
Into Furman territory. On the ground, Anderson is stuffed, pushed back for a loss of 1.
Sellers goes 6'3", 245. He is a big boy.
How about this under a minute to play in the third quarter? A 20-point game. And they're on their third-string quarterback, not because of injury.
False start. Offense, number 51. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
You got to think there's some people in the desert still interested to how this one plays out with a 20-point lead. Second and 16, empty backfield. Sellers, he's going deep. A shot to the end zone. Got him! What a throw by Lenoris Sellers. A 50-yard bomb to Tyshawn Russell.
And what a play. I mean, Sellers. Furman only rushes 3, gets outside the pocket and just launched it. Perfect throw.
A bobbled snap. Scrambling. And that play is dead. There are guys making plays right now who aren't even on the tootie. Sellers and Russell, we didn't even know they were going to play tonight.
Well, it's just a 4-man rush that steps up and delivers a dart. Perfect play. And that's just raw speed. You know, beat the defensive back. He thought that wide receiver was going to squat. And he outran the safety as well. A little pylon cam shot here. Sneaking those 2 feet in there. How about that?
Remember, Furman had a 14-7 lead just a few minutes into the second quarter. South Carolina has reeled off 33 unanswered points, and you got to give credit to the defense. The last 6 Furman drives, South Carolina's only given up 61 total yards.
Norris Sellers, a freshman. And to your point, a guy that never even thought was going to be able to get in the game, he's coming in and getting valuable experience. Offensive lineman getting in, getting valuable experience. It's exactly what this ball club needs. Only one way to get ready to play a tough SEC schedule. Get out there and play ball, man.
9 seconds to play here in this third quarter. Fair catch called for. How about that moment? Lenore Sellers.
And you could tell his teammates were so happy for him. He's the carrying joiner.
He said he's going to be nice.
Going to be nice. Yes, I agree. And you can tell he can run around. He's got the athleticism. Man, he showed the arm talent as well. Oh, you got to love that. Teammates are proud of their guy.
Tyler Huff still in at quarterback for Furman. It's Jaquan Smith on the ground to carry. And that should do it for the third quarter. And plenty of fans for this sold-out crowd still in attendance as we get ready for the start of the fourth quarter. Alongside my partners, Rocky Boyman, Don Davenport, I'm John Schriffen. There's Furman with the ball to start this fourth quarter on the slant. Josh Harris spinning away from one. And he'll be stopped as he crosses the 40 down at the 42. Even though this final score may not represent it, Furman was game. They were ready to go from the opening snap.
They came out and stunned South Carolina right away.
They show you why they are one of the best teams in the country in the FCS. Setting up the screen to the outside, Shiflett. And even if this score does hold up for Furman, is this one of those games that you can still build on for the rest of your season?
Oh, certainly. I mean, look, you go out there and you play against competition like this. I think you find out a lot about your personnel. You find out who has fight in them. And yeah, you use every game, every opportunity as a chance to get better. And I think they'll utilize this and look back and say, hey, this is something that's going to help us down the stretch playing this level of competition. When they get in that FCS playoffs, they feel they'll be ready to go.
2022 for Furman was a breakout season. They went 10-3 overall, 7-1 in the Southern Conference. Those 10 wins, the most overall wins since 2005. And Clay Hendricks, as so many of those guys came back from that 2022 team, they're going to be a problem in the FCS.
There's no doubt about it. Experience, and I think they've got the quarterback that can go in there and make some things happen and get themselves deep in the playoffs.
3rd and 5. Hendrick, his screen is tipped, and it's picked off. Xavier McLeod comes away with the interception. The defensive lineman.
Nothing better than when a D lineman gets a pick. But there was a lot of pressure right into the face of Tyler Huff. Terrell Dawkins, I think, forced the bad throw and then popped it up in the air. McLeod took over.
When When you got guys making plays who didn't even expect to see the field, that's when you know you've turned it to another level. Handoff is to DJ Braswell. That's the freshman running back, and that is his first action. He did not get in the game against North Carolina, but he's a track guy. They feel like he's got a ton of speed.
And all these guys we're talking about, John, that are getting in the game, that's when you find out about a player. You can look good in practice all you want, but I've seen plenty of guys over my career in football look great in practice. You get out during the game time that they can't find a way to get it done.
Braswell got popped.
These are the reps that matter. No substitute for just high-level competition in a game-like environment.
Jalen Miller with the hit stick right there. There's no doubt South Carolina offense has been clicking no matter who's in at quarterback. They've scored a touchdown in 4 of their last 5 drives. Sellers is now faced with a 3rd and 9. Empty backfield. He's got time over the middle. Another completion. This one to Peyton Mangrum.
I feel like we're getting a glimpse at the next quarterback for South Carolina. Norris Sellers is dealing.
Might have to get an NIL deal for those rec specs.
Oh, you got to do something with that, man. I haven't seen rec specs in a long time.
Timeout on the field for a player injury.
So a Furman player is down. We're going to step aside, let the medical team do what they do. Back at their offense, put up 40 points. A big reason, Xavier Leggett, the wide receiver, for the first 2 games of the season, he has been the man.
Yeah, it's just been fantastic. Career day last week, 178 yards. And then tonight, it's been a couple of deep balls where Spencer Rattler's had to do nothing more than just throw it up in his general vicinity, and he's made the play from there.
Sellers on the option, keeps it himself. You know, finishing up on Leggett, Shane Beamer, when he talked about him this week, he said, after the loss, we decided to practice the next day on Sunday. And he put, the GPS on all the guys. The guys are clocking in at like 15, 16 miles per hour. Leggett, what did he clock in at? 21 miles per hour. He said he's the hardest guy going in practice the day after the loss.
Yeah, and usually after a game, guys are kind of going slow out there. But for someone to hit 21 miles per hour is exceptional enough. But to do it the day after a game, wow.
That's Braswell. And Braden Gilby, another big shot he delivered. This offense continues to move under 3rd-string quarterback Sellers. Back shoulder throw, end zone, on the money, touchdown. That's Nick Harbour, another young product. He was the #1 recruit out of high school out of Washington, D.C., and he's getting in on the scoring party.
5-star, 6'5", 240, runs a 10-200 meters. Most exceptional athlete maybe in the country. But first, we got to talk about Lenore Sellers. That dude is out there dealing. Back shoulder throws, scrambling, throwing deep balls.
Unbelievable performance. Alex Herrera going for the extra point. His kick is up and good. That drive, 6 plays, 38 yards. The final was a 7-yard touchdown pass.
And it's good to see Nick Harbour get involved, but Lenore Sellers, great ball placement. Throw it up to your guys, 6'5", let him do the rest.
South Carolina has rattled off 40 unanswered, including this last touchdown by Nick Harbour. His first college catch is a touchdown for South Carolina.
How about that 1-for-1? First college catch, a little back shoulder, perfectly thrown football. And we talked about the athletic prowess of Nick Harbour. I mean, one of the most exceptional athletes, as I said, in the country. I mean, a 6'5", 240-pound man, John, should not be able to run 10-2 in the 100 meters, but that's what he did last year as a high school senior.
That's like Olympic level speed.
It really is. I mean,
and that shot right there of Lenore Sellers and Nick Barber. That is the future of South Carolina. Sellers right now in this game, 4 for 4, 86 yards, 2 touchdown passes.
This game could not have worked out better for Shane Beamer. He's got everybody a ton of experience, even his young guys. Because, look, let's face it, they got the gauntlet coming up, right? At Georgia next week, Mississippi State, then at Tennessee.
You wonder why Shane Beamer's taking his guys out?
Yeah.
Thinking about Athens.
Yeah, that's right. Leave a little gas in the tank for those guys.
Furman, they were game early on. The first 3 drives for the Paladins, 137 total yards. Their last 7 drives, 73 total yards.
Yeah, and I think the main thing that what happened there was Spencer Rattler was just on fire. I mean, he was efficient, and he was just kept chipping away. That defense for Furman playing pretty good, but kept completing balls. They kept getting the balls to the playmakers on the perimeter, and then started taking some shots. He connected with them.
Carson Jones in at quarterback. He's going to take a shot, but overthrows his receiver. He's looking for Nick Cannon. Second and 10, trying to reverse course. Smith just made it back to the line of scrimmage.
I think if you're Furman right now, the priority is, look, let's keep guys healthy. And as soon as I say that, here comes your running back, Grant Robinson, coming up a little bit lame. He's another good running back for them.
And Rocky, that's got to be the key to the game right now with so much time left on the clock, over 10 minutes. Let's get everyone out of this game safely and on to next week.
Yeah, look, you want to get guys experience and utilize this opportunity, but maybe
up big here in the fourth quarter. The attendance tonight, 78,281, a sellout for the home opener. Let's take a look forward for the schedule for South Carolina. And Rocky, the big one next week in Athens, Georgia.
Yeah, that's why it was so important to play much better tonight. I think they did that, especially offensive line, which really needed work. Got some guys some playing time, and I think they'll take their best shot into Athens here next week.
Cole Hinton, a nice run after the catch there for Furman as Carson Jones is in at quarterback. We take another look at the schedule for South Carolina.
Mississippi State and at Tennessee. These next 3 weeks, not going to be easy.
Even that non-conference game November 4th, Jacksonville State, that is not a gimme game. That Jacksonville State team is very live.
Yeah.
First and 10. Baylor Hughes. Freshman quarterback Carson Jones getting some quality minutes for Furman.
That's some valuable time for a freshman to be able to get in there. Carson Jones.
These are two teams with some history. This is the 50th meeting all time between Furman and South Carolina. On the ground they go, this one with Jaquan Smith. These two started battling back in 1892. Furman won that original matchup 44-0. But South Carolina has led this overall series 28-20 and 1 draw. How about that on the back of their helmet? F you all the time. Okay.
All right.
On 3rd and 4. Smith will move the chains.
Yeah, I think if you're Furman, you were hoping to come here and knowing what you were up against, still would like to play a little bit better. And we talked about it. They started off really, really well, but just weren't able to sustain. I think a lot of that due to the fact that Spencer Rattler just came in along with Xavier Leggett and just took this game over.
Also the offensive line, I don't think we can talk about it enough.
Yeah.
He took it personally.
Dawn
talked about it in the open.
And they very well should have. There's high expectations. There's still high expectations for this team. They did not play well up front last week against North Carolina, albeit against a very good North Carolina team. And they knew they had to get down to business tonight. Use this as an opportunity to get better, show the coaches who can play, who can't play, and try to take some of that gained experience into Athens next week.
Second and 7. Carson Jones's pass is broken up. That's Emory Floyd with his hand in there.
You mentioned the youth back there, Emory Floyd, a redshirt freshman.
Clayton White, defensive coordinator for South Carolina, talked about how he's decided to be on the field instead of in the booth because he has so many young guys.
Yeah.
He wants to be able to look in their eyes, talk to them, have them tell him what they're seeing, and he's really gotten the most out of this young roster so far.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to D coordinators, a ton of them over the years. It's always, what do I do? You can see better up in the booth, but yeah, especially a young team, you want to look in the eyes of your guys and see what they're going through, and you just get a better feel of where they are.
Player Hughes will be tackled out of bounds short of a marker. Brings up 4th down, and the offense will stay on the field for Furman. Fourth and 3 for the Paladins. Jones slant, incomplete, and a turnover on downs. South Carolina looking to pick up their first win of the season. They're up big here, under 6 minutes to play in the 4th. 47-14 they lead, under 6 minutes to play here in this 4th quarter. Alongside Rocky Boyman, Don Davenport, John Schriffen, and Spencer Rattler, who played into the 3rd quarter, 345 yards. Didn't even touch the field in the 4th quarter.
Have a night, son. 25 of 27. It's incredible. Shane Beamer, and we spoke with him yesterday, was just glowing in his praise of Spencer Rattler. Thought he really played great, even in a loss last week to North Carolina. And he came back out here tonight and followed up that performance with an even better one.
So the 4th quarterback used tonight for South Carolina will be Tanner Bailey. As you see, Lenora Sellers in the rec specs, he's on the sideline now.
And John, if they go to a 5th quarterback, I think it's you. I think you're going to take a few snaps tonight, getting everybody some love. That's
not
good.
Want me out. Bailey on 2nd and 3. Penalty flag. He completes the pass to his tight end Nick Elkness. Well, let's see what the penalty is.
Holding, offense, number 72, 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Clearly Shane Beamer not happy with the penalty, but in our talk with him this week, it was incredible how positive he was.
Yeah.
Looking at all the mistakes and the things that potentially, went wrong against North Carolina, it's that positivity that his team really fed off this week and responded with this big performance.
Yeah, and I think, look, he's around this roster. He knows he has some dudes out there. He knows he has some good players. It's just, that offensive line had to be fixed.
Ball is on the floor. And it looks like Furman has jumped on top of it.
By the defense. 1st down, Furman.
Luke McLaughlin comes up with the fumble recovery for Furman. And they've got good field position, under 5 minutes to play here in the fourth. For South Carolina, that's their first giveaway this entire season.
Yeah, a team that is as young and inexperienced as they are, especially at offensive line, you've got to take care of the football. And as you're learning, as you're progressing, as you're figuring things out, this turnover here doesn't matter, but next week it's going to matter.
Carson Bailey slant complete, stretching for the end zone, and a touchdown. Blair Hughes. That's Brock Chappell. He's a freshman tight end. Coming up with the touchdown, and he lost it after he had crossed the goal line.
Just a slant route, getting it to the interior of that defense, reach out across.
For Furman, that is their first score since we had about 12 minutes left in the second quarter. Alex the throw. Extra point is good. Let's take a look back on the night for Spencer Rattler as he played into the third quarter. After getting sacked 9 times against North Carolina, look at this response.
And early it was hitting the outside part of the field, but then just started uncorking it. Doty with the first one, then Leggett and Mega Blake on the outside, and heck, let's throw it up one more time to Xavier Leggett. The guy was phenomenal. As I said earlier, it's a perfect combination of not being too cautious, but also not being reckless. And that's that fine line as a quarterback you got to be able to ride. You don't want to be someone who's always playing it safe out there. You can't win that way. But you also can't win if you're throwing the ball up for grabs and put it in harm's way a lot. And he seems to have found that fine line, or maybe he couldn't earlier in his career. So far this year, yes.
Ian Williams will kick things away for Furman. Offensive coordinator for South Carolina, Darryl Loggins, told us he spent a lot of time in the NFL coaching. He's been around a lot of NFL quarterbacks. He said Spencer Rattler can do things that not all these NFL quarterbacks can do, like throwing on the run, escaping the pocket, keeping plays alive. He's got a lot of intangibles that NFL scouts love.
Yeah, I mean, he can scramble around a little bit, but his best quality is he's got a live arm. I mean, that ball just jumps out of his hand, and it's accurate. And in today's football, I'm a believer that offensive scheme has come so far. You know, the rules are in their favor. There's great coordinators out there. They're going to be able to find ways to get guys open. Do you have the quarterback that can get them the ball? That's what it comes down to, and Spencer Rattler's one of them. There's Darryl Loggins up there. Enjoyed talking with him. Many words of wisdom I took away from talking with Coach.
Colton Gaither, 5th quarterback used tonight for South Carolina. And that's DJ Twitty, running back with the carry. Under 4 minutes to play in the ball game. 2nd and 8. It's Twitty again. How often do you get a chance in a regular season to use 5 quarterbacks?
Never. you never see it.
And not because of injury.
Right. Yeah, but it's a good thing. It's just You're talking the SEC, physical league. Guys are going to get hurt. And why does the Georgias and the Alabamas always at the top? Because not only are their top line guys great, but the next guys that come in, the next guys that come in are seasoned and really, really good players.
That's Xavier McLeod, who is down on a knee right now. And David Alibi is going to be helped off the field for Furman. McLeod's the guy who got that interception earlier. The defensive lineman who jumped on the ball. Third and 7. Strong throw across the field. Going up and getting it. An outstanding catch. That's Ben Rollins, the wide receiver.
Oh, look at that. It's great.
Everybody getting a chance to play tonight.
And that's the other thing, too. Yes, it's depth and experience, but you got a lot of guys out there working hard, showing up every day, long hours, early mornings, off-season workouts. Get a chance to reward them is great.
Twitty will be pushed back and stop a loss of 2. Second and 13. They hand this one to Nathan Harris Wainick. About what we have now in college football, every year you could potentially have a new roster. Shane Beamer, it's like 38 new players this year, including freshmen and transfer.
Yeah,
so it takes time, right, for teams to kind of figure things out. Not everybody can be Colorado and Coach Prime right away.
Right. And that was interesting talking with Coach Beamer. I asked him about the transfer portal, and he said, look, when you're recruiting guys out of high school, it's like a 2-3 year relationship. 2 or 3 years you have to develop and talk with them and see what you like, what you don't like, how they fit in. The way the transfer portal works is these players hit the portal, and you have like not 2 years, you have like 2 days maybe to figure out if this guy's a fit for your team. And sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss, sometimes it takes a little bit longer. It's really a funky thing that I think all of us are still figuring out.
Has Colorado changed the game?
I think Colorado is proven, or maybe not proven, but solidified. You know what wins games? Good players. You know, culture is great, chemistry is great, good players win games.
Facts. 1:11 to play in this ball game. Carson Jones will come out for Furman in what could be the final drive of the game. Hinton gets the carry. 1st and 10, under 40 seconds to play in this one. Smith with the carry to the outside. They'll be brought down. Desmond Mazulu. So many things stand out in this game for South Carolina. At one point, rattled off 40 unanswered points. Look at Spencer Rattler, the numbers for him. Only 2 incomplete passes, 345 yards, 3 touchdowns. Look at the wide receiver, Xavier Legette, 6 catches, 118 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah, and to me, that's the thing. Receivers can go off here and there, you know, and just happen to have a good day. But when you follow up a career day with another great day, that shows you've arrived as an SEC wide receiver. Xavier Legette's one of the best out there.
So the coaches will shake hands. And this one is now a final. South Carolina on their home opener have won their first game of the season, 47-21 over Furman. The Gamecocks move to 1-1. Furman will fall to 1-1 with the loss. South Carolina 571